Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi. Hello. A little bit late today. Today we are going to be doing some mixed variety things. Also, I can't hear myself. So, I hope I sound fine. I don't know what I sound like right now. Actually, I don't have a BGM. We're gonna sit here in silence. OMG, live from the mental. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hi. We, maybe we're neighbors? Maybe. Am I buzzing? Hello? I can't hear. I think my mic might be doing something funny. Anyways. I'm like really debating between like, do I want to yap for 3 hours straight? Or do I want to like chill? Actually, you know what the entire purpose of this was? I was gonna do like a thing. I was gonna do like a little drawing stream. And then maybe like play some guitar. But who knows? I have my guitar with me. I might put this away though. I don't know. I might put this away actually. I think I have two things I want to do. Huh. I have two things I want to do, but one of them is like, I want to do something a little bit more. So, I might go do that. Gotta pull up my thing though. Oh, bye. I never actually get to use my, I never get to use my drawing tablet. But I don't know if I want to draw on CSP. I'll have to think about it. Wait one sec. Let me open up CSP. Anyways, I had a couple things that I was gonna talk about today. Like I do always, I write down the things I'm gonna talk about like a professional. Like someone who knows what they're doing. Actually, you know what? That'd be cool. I'm looking at my brushes. I can't hear anything. I'm like not wearing headphones, so I am sitting here in the void listening to the sound of my PC, and you guys can probably hear my BGM. File. See, every single time I open this up, I look at the CSP and I'm like, wow, I have so many drawings that I want to do that I don't do. Like, wow, I have so many things I need to work on, and so many things I should draw, but then I don't draw. So it's really a debate of like, well, gee, I should draw, and then I don't draw. Every single waking hour is just, I should draw, and then doesn't draw. It's actually more to do, I think, with like the fact that I don't really like the brushes on CSP, and then with large brushes, especially on CSP, there is a lag, and that bothers me. So which is why I prefer drawing on Procreate on the iPad, because it's faster. But well, if I get annoyed enough, we'll switch over probably. Oh my gosh, you're on a watch streak. I didn't know you could do that. Wow, amazing. How did you do that? How did you do that? Is that like a... What is that? Like an on-screen celebration? I don't even know what this does. I have no idea what Twitch does, guys. I just stream on here. I click. I'm looking at the reward, like the bit things, and I'm like, I don't know what these do. I know there's like gigantifying emote, and then there's like message effects. I don't know what that does. And then there's the, what's it called? There's the unlock a random sub, and then there's choose an emote to modify a single emote. What does that do? Oh, I just looked at it. To modify an emote, you can add emojis, you can squish it to add an effect, you can add sunglasses, you can flip it, and you can make it gray. Cool, I didn't know you could do that apparently. Guys, I've been here on this platform for what? 4 years now? 3 years? And I did not know you could do that to emotes. Wow. You can squish emotes? What? That's amazing. You need to watch a stream, then you do it again? Yeah. I mean, there's watch streaks, but I don't know how you... I got a notification that said, watch streak reached. Currently on a 10 stream streak, and it went into my activity feed. Does Twitch automatically do that? Does Twitch count those things? It's so weird. And do you have to chat to do that? Or like does just people randomly in chat get called out for it? I'm so confused. Hello Blink, how are you? I think we'll just chill here on this screen for a little. We will chat. I'm gonna wait until my hair dries because I washed my hair today and I'm waiting for it to dry. And then I can put on my headphones. So I think we'll just sit here. And I will yap at you about the topics that I was thinking about during the day. And I will tell you guys a fun little story about my day. So, yesterday I was like, I should take a mental health day. I should take the day off of work. And so I called out. Okay, not only, you know how I said in this, like on the Discord, right? I was like, I gave myself anxiety. The reason why I did that is because I was like, I called out and I get really nervous about lying. So, I did this thing. I was like, oh my god, what should I do? You know? So I woke up, not only like did I wake up an hour before I was supposed to, I was like up, awake at insane hours. I was like, oh my god, I need to be awake. Not only was I doing that, but also I just lay there in the morning at like what, 5? Not 5. What time was I awake? Like 7 a.m. Trying to like hype myself up to call out. And like the excuse I gave, I was like, oh, like, you know, like I have like a stomach ache and I can't, like, I'm not feeling very well. And it ended up actually being true because like I made myself so nervous. I did give myself a stomach ache for like the entire day. So that was fun. If you ever wanted to know what my day was like, it was me giving myself the nervous The nervous anxiety. Hello, Alejandro. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi. Hi. Welcome. I'm just telling I'm just telling Chad about the time that what the heck? Sorry, I'm trying to get something to work. Telling Chad about the time that yesterday that I called out because I told my manager that I had a stomach ache and it turned out to be real. Anyways, I gave myself the day off yesterday and it was nice. I chilled. I drew. I got a draw. I spent the time drawing and then I walked like... I decided instead of... Okay, so where I live is like... In order to get to a place, you have to drive. So in order, like, instead of a normal person, like, you know, driving 5 minutes down the street to go grab something, I decided to walk, and that was a big mistake because I decided to walk in sandals. And let me tell you, walking in sandals is not a good idea, especially on a road that is not paved. And it's very rough. I'm gonna tell you in advance that I practically don't know English, so I might be slow. Don't worry, no worries, that's fine. Everybody of all language skills is welcome. It's fine if you're not good at English. I'm not good at English either. I'm... On a good day, this is... Even on a good day, I might, like, you know, I might be struggling. Yeah! But yeah, that was my day. That's what happened. I was, chilling. Gave myself the day off. Chilled. And then I should be studying, actually. I have exams next week, Friday. And I am not studying for that. Haven't done it yet. Whoopsies. I should do that. I should do that. But I'm not going to today because today is just a normal chill yapping day, and that's it. That's my story. I was gonna... That was me making myself sick. Also, by the way, pro tip, if you ever want to fake being sick and you want it to make it sound believable, hang off the back of your bed, like your neck. Like lie down on your bed and then put your neck like so that your head is like tilted kind of backwards. So like lie down. I don't know how else to describe this. Lie down with your neck on the edge of the bed and like lean backwards. And just lie there for a little bit and then like 5 minutes or so, and then you really sound congested and then it makes you sound like you're sick. How are you? I am good. Thank you. I am very good. Ça va bien. That's all I know in French. Ça va. I'm glad you're doing well. Thank you. How are you doing? What are you up to? Are you... I don't know. Are you drawing or... I say drawing because that's... I don't know why that's the first thing my brain thought of. Are you gaming? Are you chilling? I know some people are like, I'm in bed. I'm sleeping. I'm at work. Like, some people have different things that they're doing. Some people are gaming. It is, what's it called? It is chill hours. So, wait a minute. more or less normal. I didn't sleep all night. It's 8 a.m. now. I'll be going to bed soon. 8 a.m. You're going to bed at 8 a.m. Why so late? Or early? Hello. Hi, Sky Squid. How are you doing? What's up? My sleep pattern's out of whack. Oof. I felt that, you know, like sometimes I go to bed at 5 a.m. and I'm lying there and I'm like thinking, what am I doing with my life? I have a problem. You know? I have a problem. Like, what am I doing up so late? I should go to bed. But that is not a problem for me. That is a problem for future me. No sleep at college, yeah. I used to pull all-nighters. My sleep schedule used to be wild. I used to go to bed at, like, I used to pull all-nighters working on assignments, and I would go to bed at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m., and that's the time my roommate would be waking up to go to class. So she'd be up in the morning, and she'd be like, what are you doing up? I just woke up, and I'm like, I'm going to bed. I used to take walks at 3 a.m. too. I used to just walk around. At my, I was part of a like a club, and we had our own club room. So I would walk around that like specific area. It was like a whole building. I would walk around there, down the hallways at nighttime, trying to figure out how to like write an assignment. And I have memories of that because I would be so bored. I'd be like, this is due in 4 hours. I need to start writing, but I cannot think of a different topic. I don't know what to write about. Walks and yoga's healthy in the morning? I don't know about that. 3 a.m. I would walk around with a notebook in hand, a journal, a spiral notebook, and a pencil, and I'd just pace up and down the hallway being like, what's my argument for this paragraph? What's my argument for this essay? I don't know what to write about. I don't miss that. I mean, I'm still in school, but like, nowadays, the stuff that I have to write about is a little bit more easier than like compared to an elective. Like I used to have to write sociology essays, and those were like hard. Math is harder. It is. I'm bad at math. But you know what's good about I was gonna say, you know what's good about like my school? I don't have to do math. But no. I don't like math. That's why I don't do it. I always remember how in the mornings when the weather was -34, I would catch a train to the city to get to college. Wow, that's cold. Is that, I'm guessing that's Celsius, because if that was Fahrenheit you'd be dead, but like, wow. It's giving the, when I was your age, I used to walk 13 miles to school and back and walk up a giant hill. Nowadays, kids these days have it good. You guys take a bus to school? I used to, like... I'm from a cold country. Sounds like it. I have my fair share of walking to school in the snow. But never that bad, because I used to ride a bike, and then they're like, oh, don't ride a bike in the winter. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll just do it anyway. And then, you know, sometimes I'd hit a patch and I'd slide a little, but you know, most of the time I've been fine. Because I ride on the road, and usually in the morning, the cars have already driven out a path in the snow. So I usually I was pretty fine riding a bike in the snow in the wintertime. It was I will say though, nothing wakes you up faster in the morning than slipping on a patch of ice and just gliding a little and then just like lurching to the side. You're like, right. You're like, oh no. Here in Brazil, we don't get much snow, so I'm glad I can avoid some of your problems. Ooh. Is it romance? Yeah, there's something about countrysides that are pretty nice. I lived in a forest, so I cannot relate. I lived in a forest and all I saw was deer every morning. It was just deer and owls and coyotes and squirrels and rabbits. It's a lot of rabbits. But, every country is different. I have a lot of stories about random animals I would see in the morning because it was always a gamble. It'd just be like, what's out there? What is this? What category am I in? Oh, thank God. If you want to ask something, it's better to write in chat. Because I know a couple of basic words, I'll just translate. No worries, I have captions right here. Hello, thank you for the follow, Sky Squid, and also hello, Toxic Fusion 999. I see a point, turtle, thumbs up. I don't know what that means, but hello. Welcome in. Hello, everybody. Interesting, what y'all doing? You come here often? Haha, hey. Kidding. Bites lip. Hey there. You come here often? Sorry, I can't do the wink. What's up? Hey there. Hey there, girl. You come here often? Aha. I have new people here. I have to give them a good first impression. That aha. I can't wink. I'm so sad. This is my best wink attempt. Anyway. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yes. Biking to school. Yeah. That was fun. There's one time where it was like super cold. Or like one year, it was like super snowy one day and they canceled school the next day, but the first day it was like a half day and they made everybody go to school. And I remember like I couldn't ride my bike because there was just so much snow. I remember walking and it took me like twice as long to get to school than it normally would. So instead of taking like 20-ish minutes, it took me like 40 because I had to like really slowly walk to school. And at some point I fell over and I remember lying down, like just sitting in the middle of the sidewalk surrounded by snow because nobody bothered to shovel, and I was like, man, I should have just stayed home. Hello. Anyways, sorry, I am trying to dry my hair right now. I'm chilling. 1 second. Let me pull up my list of things. Also, by the way, I wanted to point out something. And To the people on YouTube, by the way, I just looked at my analytics today, and it says my YouTube analytics my YouTube analytics updated, and it says that I have 37.6% female live viewers. So women out there, I love you. If you were a lady and you watched my streams, congratulations, you are the very few minority, and I love you. Hell yeah, I love women who watch my streams. On YouTube specifically. I don't know about Twitch. Twitch doesn't tell you that, but you know. Apparently women 37% are just chilling. So I don't know how it discovers that number, but hi. Call me. It's funny joke about stereotypes. I used to live in Canada, and there used to be like a running thing about like, oh yes, this is Canadian. We Canadians have a reindeer or a polar bear that they ride to school, and then they drink maple syrup in a cup. What was it? I don't even remember. It was like we ride like reindeer to school, and there's like people drink maple syrup. That is true, by the way. People do drink maple syrup, but not in the way that you're thinking. People usually just like put maple syrup on everything. Like I went once to a maple syrup farm, or what was it, like a maple syrup lodge, and it was kind of fun because we had dinner there, and I think breakfast, because we stayed overnight at like a little lodging in the middle of like the woods in Canada. You guys from Canada? Partially, yes. I'm from North America, but I have lived equally in both Canada and the US. Very complicated to explain, but sure, yes, I'm Canadian. I went to middle school in Canada. I went to high school in Canada. I went to elementary in the US. I went to university. I went to secondary education in Canada. And yeah, I just go back and forth a lot. I always remember that Canadian riot video. It's just a guy knocking down a street sign. Trust me, some Canadians are polite. Not everybody's like that. But most Canadians are pretty tame. Did you guys see the video of like the remote controlled Olaf? Off topic, but like I saw a tweet and they were like, that thing would not last in the US. This is the reason why Americans can't have nice things. But yes, I was in the lodge, and I remember the breakfast and lunch and dinner that they gave us was like right in the middle of the table is just always a glass of water and a pitcher of maple syrup just straight up there, and you could just put maple syrup on whatever you want on your plate. And I remember looking at it and being like, well, I don't know if this is like meant to have maple syrup with it, but sure, I'll try it. And you know, it's okay. It's pretty good. Like, you know, there comes a point where you're like, I'm kind of getting sick of maple syrup. Because it's like, Canadian bacon with maple syrup, and then mashed potatoes with maple syrup, and then, you know, and then, like this with maple syrup and all that. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. Very sweet. You do get sick of it after a while if you have it too much. Good evening, good evening. Hello, James Jaeger. Haggart, Jaeger. I don't know. I don't know. See, I had a plan today, and I have decided that I was just gonna yap, but I'm debating. See, I'm staring at my canvas. And I don't know what I want to work on. So I think I might do that later. And I'm going to switch over to my gaming screen. Okay, everybody say goodbye to the void. Everybody say goodbye to the void. We're switching. Whee! Oh. Okay, never mind. We're in a different void. We're in the dark void now. Oh, never mind. We're not in the dark void. We're still here. Wow. I'm here. You guys can't see what I'm looking at. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, you can't see that. That's so weird. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Anyways. Study mode. Hello, okay. Ta-da! Alright. So today I will be introducing you to some of my demons. Hence the title on YouTube. I'll be introducing you to some of my friends that I see when I close my eyes. Anyways, are we sitting here in the silence again? No, we're not. No. Okay, I can hear. Yay! Can you hear? Can you guys hear my BGM? I don't know if you can or not. Maybe. Wait one second. Let me listen. Let me put on my headphones actually. Okay, yeah, you can. Yay! Alright, good. I am not going to be playing any music because we are on YouTube, but this is just going to be very rough. Alright. So, to tell you a little bit of context, I do realize that saying like, here are the demons that live in my head, I'm going to show you them, is a little odd to say, but for as long as I can remember, actually not even as long as, oh my god, let me not listen to myself, this is weird. Okay, for as long as I can remember, maybe starting like 10 years ago, every single time I close my eyes, I see this like static, and then I always imagine, like, you know when you wake up after a nightmare and then you see the after image in your eyes, and then you think to yourself, wow, that was weird, how do I get rid of it, right? So you blink really hard. Let me slide myself over here. There, we can see the canvas better. You can see my brushes. I'll make myself bigger too. There's nothing really going on. And then I will give myself my table. Wait. I need to move my table over too. Ah, yes, here it is. My table. There you go. Alright. Yes, for as long as I can remember. I like this comically tiny tablet. This is hilarious. Maybe this is better. For as long as I can remember, like I would like close my eyes and think to myself, how do I do this again? Oh darn it, never mind. Guys, I don't really use CSP that often, so if I don't know what I'm doing, it's because I really don't know what I'm doing. There's a lasso tool on here. Ah, I see. Yeah, today we are painting my demons. So, I don't know how else to portray this. This is a good time for me to figure out how Clip Studio Paint works. So this is a good time to figure out how paint works. I don't like that one. Not it either. I do like the sketch pen though. I hear you double, is it a me thing? Oh boy. Let me listen to myself. Hello? Hello, I'm talking to myself? No, that might be a you thing. I can hear myself fine. If you're hearing me in double, I don't know. Hold up. Hello? Is this better? Is this better? I don't know what I just did. Sounds normal? I know, it sounds normal to me, but I don't know. Everything's fine now? Was it a you thing or was it a me thing? Might be a me thing? Okay. Well, that's good. Wow, I do not like this pencil. I do not like Clip Studio Paint. I just want to draw on this giant canvas and God, everything's lagging because of how... Okay, this canvas is 4,000 by 5,000. That might be why. Let me go open up a new file. That might be a problem. Okay. Let me open up a new tablet. That's smaller. Because previously I was working on like 1,000, 5,000. Too big. Can I do a backflip? Sure. I mean, you can redeem it. It's right there. But for you specifically, sure. There you go. I did 2 just for a special occasion. How about that? A wink. I want to say wink out loud because I cannot physically wink. Wow, thank you for the follow. They followed me after I did a backflip. Amazing. Look at my wrist skills, chat. I'm so good. Oh yeah. I don't want to use this pen. Common verb W, hell yeah. I like this brush actually. Wait, that's too big. Oh wait. Pink's a nice color. Actually, we'll do red. Alright, I will illustrate to you. So I have a couple of them. I have a couple of friends who like to, I like to see, or not I like to see, but I do see often when I close my eyes. I call them my friends. One of them that's the most common. One second, let me stop listening to myself. Yeah, I don't need to hear myself anymore. Yeah, quack. I can hear that. I just can't hear myself. I just turn that off. One of them that I like to see often, or that I see pretty often, that just kind of lives there. I wish I could do like a static effect. So imagine this is like a grainy. Actually, maybe I can do that. If I can turn this to gray. Imagine that's TV static, right? Damn, I'm sad I'm gonna miss the rest of the stream. This sounds really interesting. Oh no, don't worry. It's fine. You can catch the VOD later. You can always watch the VOD. It's always there on YouTube. Also, Sunny's on Twitch, if I remember to upload it. But I always recommend YouTube might be a little bit better for VOD watching because Twitch has a lot of ads. So, as somebody who is not monetized on YouTube, there is not very many ads compared to Twitch. But yes, this is... I like to call them the static demon. And I guess... I don't know, they don't really have a face to me. They just kind of look like this. Me watch ad me support streamer, don't worry. You don't have to if you don't want to. I have to figure out how to... This is gonna be a very scuffed drawing. I'm not a good drawer. But they kind of look like this. Imagine like a really grainy film and like two eyes staring out at you, dots. The darkness. This one's actually kind of cute. Maybe a little bit of a smile. I can't really draw it that well, but just imagine like a really big smile and just staring at you from the darkness. They don't really have a face. They just kind of stare at you. The only thing you can see through like a really heavy static fog is these two really bright eyes. You do mean cute is a single? Maybe. I'm sure if you ask nicely, maybe. But how this works is that when I wake up after a nightmare, when I wake up after a dream, when you close your eyes really, really hard and squeeze your eyes tight and you see that layer of static in your vision when you close your eyes, if you focus hard enough, you'll see these two white dots staring back at you in the darkness. And that is the static demon that likes to show up. Other than that, if you open your eyes again and you see what's around you, sometimes in the dead of the night when all you see is darkness, and you close your eyes again, and you wish the static demon away, sometimes you'll get a new face. Instead of seeing just the blackness, sometimes I will see some other types of friends, some other types of visitors who will pop up every now and then. So I will just be doodling a couple of the ones that I see. Not a lot of them come back. Sometimes I see them once. Sometimes I see them more than once, but most of them are pretty cool. You're writing fan fiction. Oh, sorry. I was like, you're writing fan fiction about my demons on stream. Wow. Static demon is popular. When Ludwig closed his eyes, he saw darkness about nothingness, and that is where he discovered the tiny beings of light. Ludwig was certain that these playful dancing sprites offered guidance. They could empty Ludwig of his fears, at least in the midst of a hunt. Nice! How do I... bucket tool? Bill. Ah, bucket tool, there we go. You know, this might be better to draw it on a new layer. You guys see here in the darkness. Anyways, number 2. I guess demon number 2. Maybe a dark background isn't good. Maybe I'll consider like a gray, so that we can see things a little bit easier. This next guy, he's a little bit of a gentleman. He also doesn't really have a face. He just kind of I say he as a general he, but like I don't know these guys' genders. They're kind of like just there as a concept. Wrong brush. You know what? I'll just stick with this. I don't like this color. One sec. See you around, take care. See you, Naros. Good night. Why is it interesting? It's turning red. My Trishky's stretching and tired, going to bed. Thank you. Good night. Hello, Elvis Pretzel. Oh my god, that's a great name. Hello, Elvis Pretzel. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing? What brings you around to these parts of town? Leans on desk. You know, I'm drawing my demons. God, I wish this color would turn out darker. What is this? I'm really confused as to why this is turning out blue. Really should be darker. Good morning, I'm quite well, and you? I am good. I'm good as well. That'd be good for it. This one doesn't have eyes. This one doesn't have a face, actually. Only has... it's just this. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good night. That's awesome. Yeah. ignore my brushes. I'm trying to figure out what brushes I'm using. Trying to figure out a good brush that works for me, but that might be a little bit difficult. Actually, this might be fine. This gentleman has a little bit of a hat. Not a big hat, just a tall hat. Just an all dark top hat. These drawings are all gonna be really scuff, I swear. My drawings don't normally actually no, my drawings do look like this. I just cannot be bothered to draw them in more detail. I've got a top hat. And that's really it. Hello, hi Jordy Shoddy. Welcome. Horror is kind of hard to draw, isn't it? I think the hard part about drawing horror is being able to portray it. And also, what different people fear is different from what you fear. So, it's a little bit difficult. These are scribbles. Really scuffed drawing. Anyways, just a really dark figure with no face, no features, just a hat. And also the hat's pretty dark too. I just drew it to like this for the contrast, but really it's all just a big dark shadow with a top hat. And I guess if you looked at him from far away, he just kind of looked like this. Sorry, stick figure time. Kind of like Slenderman. He's got like those really tall body proportions. The Shadow Man. The Shadow Man likes to stand in the corner of your room, like a what's it called? Like your sleep paralysis demon. That's my sleep paralysis demon, the Shadow Man. The Shadow Man likes to stand there and watch you sleep. And sometimes in the corner of your eye in the dark, sometimes you'll see him. Shadow Man is kind of shy. He doesn't talk. He just kind of stands there, like, ominously. It's just the standing man emoji, like, he's just standing there, menacingly. Yeah, that's the Shadow Man. I guess other ones. Is it scary when you see them? No, not really. I mean, maybe if you just woke up after a nightmare, they can be a little bit scary, but other than that, no. Kind of used to seeing them. This next one, I don't know what to call them. I've only seen them once. They're kind of cool looking. Do you guys have like things that you see at night that like are, you know, eerie? I cannot portray this very well. Bear in mind that when I draw these, they're off like really vague concepts that I see when I close my eyes, so they're not really like... If I suddenly woke up or get sleep paralysis, I see huge spiders. Ooh. This guy I like to call Pinhead. He's got like a million little pins sticking out of his face, like all over, just like imagine just and he's got like a bunch of pins sticking out of the eyes, the lips, the face, the head, all over, just covered in nails or like sharp spikes, I guess. They're like metal. They're not really like, they're not part of the skin. Hellraiser, maybe. I don't know. Kind of eerie looking. I've never seen the movie. I don't know. I just see this. It's kind of chill, kind of like a metalhead. Now this one, I just see the face, and then they just stand there, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's nice, you know. But it's really hard to portray in a drawing, cause like I don't have a very clear picture. But yeah, the eyes are just filled with spikes. I don't know how they see, but very cool. That's one of them. There's another one that's like that's not it. Oops. Trying to think back. I don't know, some of them, like, to me, aren't very scary. They just, like, you know. I just think they're cool. I just came in time to get rid of whatever that was. Pinhead. They got a lot of, like, they got a lot of spikes in the eyes. Makes me think about, what's it called? The SCP? An SCP thing? Yeah. I'm gonna make this darker. No, not that color. I'll go with this color. I don't know, some of these are kind of like interesting looking to me. Kind of cute. I think it's interesting to see what people like consider scary or not scary. Hello FUCKs, welcome. I should not be drawing on a dark canvas. This is really hard to like. Everything's either too light or too dark. This one is kind of hard to see. All you see is like a really bright, a really big smile and a really dark mouth and a really, really long neck. Art stream, hope you got better. I did. I'm drawing concepts of horror monsters really badly, by the way, because I don't know how to draw horror. These look like the kind of posters you would see in a video game that was drawn by a child. At least you know how to draw? I do not know how to draw. This is all you see. Just a really big smile in the dark and a really long neck. Yeah, gray body's hard to see. That's the point. Imagine in the darkness you see the faint shadow of a neck and a body, but the thing that's the most clear is a mouth that's just smiling at you with a really, really wide grin. A little bit of a faint rest of the face, but you know, can't see it too very well. Everything just kind of blends in. I wanted that part to be the closest to see. I don't know. There's like, it's interesting. There's different types of ways to make something look creepy. These are really hard to portray, by the way, because like I'm going off of really fast sketches. I guess if I had more time, I could draw them in detail. This next one is a little bit interesting. They've got a lot of eyes, but like in different places. Sorry, I'm just gonna speed run eyeballs. A lot of eyes. I don't really have names for all of these. They just kind of look like that. I want you to imagine these concepts when you close your eyes, when you're lying in the dark, and they just kind of pop up. And if you want to get rid of them, you have to like open your eyes, blink, adjust your eyes to the darkness, try to make out your room in front of you, and then close your eyes again and hope that they don't come back. Because if you stare too long at these monsters when your eyes are closed, they don't like that. They get a little nervous, they get a little scared, and then you don't know what they're gonna do. Is that a new horror game concept? No, I'm just telling you guys about my demons. I'm telling you guys about the things that live in my head. The ones that I see, at least, when I close my eyes. Sounds very SVP-like. I know, it does. It's a little interesting. I figure it'd be a good time, or I don't know, an interesting idea to like show what I see when I close my eyes. You can see into my mind. But yes, at the very start of the stream, I showed you guys the radio demon. Well, not the radio demon, the static demon. My brain thinks radio because like radio static, but no. Very fuzzy. Usually accompanied with the sound of ringing in your ears. The static demon kind of looks like you're looking at TV fuzz, but just through the heavy static when you close your eyes. You know when you shut your eyes really, really tightly? Try it right now. Shut your eyes really, really tightly. You know the static that shows up in your vision? Just imagine like a pair of really bright lights shining through. Really bright light. That's the static demon. That's what they look like to me. And if you want to get rid of them, you have to open your eyes again. And then you blink, you close your eyes again, and then maybe a new demon will pop up. And you'll see them. But you just have to keep opening your eyes, looking around, closing them again, opening them until they go away. And then you can go back to bed, and then nothing will ever happen. but that's what I see. So this one's eyes, they're really not that interesting. No offense. Ooh. Oh, they just blocked my horns. No offense to these ones, but they're kind of interesting looking. They're just like a bunch of eyes, just like staring, blinking. Need to get rid of the demon, sorry. No. I'm like a demon cat. Have you ever thought about how boring it must be if you were like an animal or like a pet? You ever thought about it? Like, what do your pets do all day? They just sit there on the floor and they just lie there and they like stare at nothing or they sleep. You ever thought about how boring it must be? Like, I don't know. Like, sure they don't have to pay taxes and whatever, but God, no opposable thumbs. They can't use a computer. They can't game. They just stare at things. You know how boring that would be? Okay, I have to make this color wheel bigger because it's getting a little hard to select colors. But yeah, that's eyeballs. It's just a bunch of eyeballs. Just like imagine when you close your eyes, you just see a lot of little eyeballs staring at you. Like a lot of them. Like a lot of them. Not that they're anything bad or whatever, they just stare at you. I guess it's kind of fun if you like being stared at. You don't know whoever's staring at you might be human or not, though. They just stare. They like looking. Like a little bit of voyeurism now and then. What's wrong with that? Yeah, that's these guys. Just little eyeballs blinking. They're kind of cute, in a way. Next. Let's see here. Yeah, they're kind of cute. Next one. I guess I could take them in a staring contest. You can try. They got a lot of them. They can take turns. That'd be fun. Can you imagine? Like, close your eyes and be like, if one of us, well, all of them have to blink at the same exact time. So maybe if you do this, like the, right? If you like blow at them in the face, they'll blink. Maybe you'll win. Have you ever thought about how eerie like those anatomical like flesh models are? I can't draw very well. Like FNAF? Maybe. I don't know. That's what I like to call the meat man. I don't know how to depict muscle or whatever. This is just gonna be like really rough sketches. I'm not bothering to draw properly. I don't have the time to put detail into this and fix anatomy, so it's just gonna be like whatever. I think there's a muscle there. Think like like the Attack on Titan demon monsters. Just like that. He's like dark. That just makes him look cartoony, I don't know. I can't draw like I can't draw like eyeballs because it just makes him look like human, but yeah, you can try. Watch this. Blue-eyed white man jump scare. Eyeballs. Surrounded by flesh and muscle and meat. Very mouthwashing-esque. Kind of, yeah. Without the band-aids. Curly. Captain Curly. This feels like you're talking to your inner demons if I'm not here to interact. When you stare into the void stares back at you. I don't know, the meat man's kind of fun. This is who you see at 2 a.m. when you eat cold pizza and you sleep on your left side. Very specific. I hear that apparently if you sleep on your, I think on your left side is better for you because that's where your heart is. Who knows? I don't know, Meat Man's kind of cute. Meat Man's kind of cute. I did not know that. That's neat to learn. Yeah. Anyway, that's Meat Man. We can say goodbye to Meat Man. He's got like half of his mouth or face torn open. You can see his teeth through there. Kind of stuck like that. Anyways, bye-bye Meat Man. You can see your eyeballs. Meat Man has no nose cavity either. Meat Man just kind of like this. Just bone. Bone and holes and flesh. Yes, goodbye Meat Man. Bye Meat Man, yeah. Next one. Next one is just a mask. Honestly, a little bit like No Face, but they're just like that. Didn't really have a face. They, do you guys have your own personal demons? Do you guys see anything when you sleep, when you have nightmares, when you wake up in the night? Just visions. Do you have that, or do you just not? Do you guys see when you close your eyes? Maybe that should just be a me thing. Because if you were to ask somebody, when you close your eyes, can you see? Like, can you see an apple, for example, right? When you close your eyes, can you see an apple? I'm my own demon. Yeah. Let me put myself in the art category. I see when I close my eyes, yeah, nothing spooky though. But like, if I were to ask you, like, if you close your eyes and you picture an apple in your mind, is it close to you? Is it floating in a void? Is it red? Is it yellow? Does it have bruises? What kind of apple is it? Can you see it clearly? Is it blurry? Can you rotate it in your mind? Right? How clearly can you see objects? Because for me, I can see things like, I call it aphantasia. I can see things and I can rotate them in my mind. I can see them, just not in super great detail. Like if I were to imagine myself picking up the object and like taking a bite out of it, for example, I don't think I could do that, not in that specifics. But close enough. I can see it in my mind. If I wanted to add a table, I could. If I wanted to like rotate it a little bit, I could. I can see the specific thing. I like to use the TV analogy. Like if I wanted to change an image in my mind, it's like changing a channel. It's just like click. That's how I picture things. Like my brain is like a television or a radio. No matter how I see things, when I want to change them, it's like changing a channel. When I have a bad dream or a bad nightmare or like a weird dream, it's just open your eyes, close your eyes, you're changing the channel. Maybe that's why I see so many of these things. I'm just looking at them and they're not supposed to be there. Well, yeah, that's this one. I don't know, it's just a white mask. Thank God my head's empty. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I've always wanted to be good at drawing horror art. Don't you think? Anyways, this is like... I don't know what she is. She's got a really long body. Like a really long torso and a really long neck. Made of... yeah, like a skeleton. Can you imagine a skeletal deer? It's a skeletal deer with like a vertebrae of a human, but the face of a lady. With long hair. And she likes to lean over upside down and walk backwards. But she's also got a little bit too many limbs. Like a centipede. So... the one from A Rise of a Flashy? I don't know. Guys, I don't play horror games too often and I don't watch horror movies. So everything that you see here is whatever I see. Maybe I might be influenced, but I've actually never seen horror movies. Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know that show. You'd have to send me them, actually. I don't watch horror movies. I don't play horror games. So whatever you're seeing here is whatever my brain comes up with. Maybe from different concepts of things. I think the story of how things pop up is scarier than the actual monsters. Because you look at the monsters and you're like, oh, they're kind of cute. They're kind of interesting looking. But then, like, you look at the story of how they came to be and they're a lot scarier. Anyways, this is her face. She's upside down. This is her body. She's made of ribs. You can see her ribs over here. That's her spine. And then this is the rest of her body. It's like a very big skeletal. Like a skeletal deer. Almost like a Wendigo, but not really. With a lot of limbs. More limbs than you can probably see right now. That's because she keeps them hidden. On the inside. I don't play a lot of horror either. I rage quitted at the first jump scare in Outlast. I've never played Outlast either. But yes, goodbye, pretty lady. Goodbye. And really, that's pretty much all of it. The rest of my horror demons kind of look like just like really cute dots smiling in the distance. Like that. Sometimes they're creepy though. But a lot of them are pretty vague concepts, so. Ones that I can't remember too clearly. So those are the ones that are pretty those are the ones that are clear to me, the ones that I remember. That stand out to me. You look like you draw Poppy Blade Dance monsters cute on the outside. Yeah. Anyways, we can brainstorm more cute monsters. Like, can you imagine like this is an idea I had for like a horror monster. Like really long. I like long necks, I don't know. Really long neck cerebral vertebrae. But like 3 of them, like Cerberus. Like a Hydra. I don't know, I think it'd be a cool idea. Right? Attached to like maybe the body of a bird. Like a harpy, essentially, almost. You know the Pokemon Skarmory? Kind of like that. Just horror. Like the body of a really big fat ostrich. Almost like a dragon. Yeah, 3 skulls. Not really skulls, they just got faces, but their faces are really flat. They don't have a nose. Kind of like, almost like a bird-like being with faces. Think like a harpy. Voldemort but flat. Yeah. I know, I was thinking more of like okay, I can't draw faces right now. I'm just gonna you're gonna get the face. Kind of hard to like describe the features of a person, in all honesty. I like how I've just been drawing everything in grayscale. Okay, you know how like a normal person has like like that. Look, I'm just gonna draw this person mogging the camera. Wait. Oh yeah, mog that camera. Oh yeah. I can't do the face, but just know that I'm making this face right now. Oh yeah. Okay, you know how people are normally like you know people are normally like three-dimensional? Imagine like this kind of face, but like squished like a pan, maybe like. I don't think I could beat him in a staring contest. Why? I'm gonna like add some definition. Oui, oui, monsieur. Oh no! Don't look. Ayasella, thank you for the raid. Happy birthday, by the way. Everybody, Asella's birthday is today. Wait, happy birthday! I was listening to your karaoke in the background. Very nice, very fun. Happy birthday. I hope you had a nice birthday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hello raiders, welcome. I was earlier drawing horror monster concepts. Oops, I forgot to click. I was drawing horror monster concepts that live in my head, my demons. And now I am explaining to them the concept of facial depth using the concept of this mogging face. Yeah, check out Acela. Acela's very cool. Acela plays Ace Attorney and a lot of visual novel slash rhythm games. But yes, very, very cool, very, very fun. Please check out Acela's streams if you want to listen to cool, amazing karaoke. Yes. Anyways, take care. Thank you for the raid. And if you need to go, go to bed, get a snack break, drink a lot of water, by the way. Especially after singing. Drink a lot of water. Go to the bathroom. Bathroom is important. But yes, raiders, if you also need to go do that too, take care of yourselves. Anyways, hello guys, my name is Kyokamiya. I am a Songbird Tengu VTuber, and today I am doing some art. I don't know why my raid alerts are not working. I have to figure that out. Something's going on. Kind of weird. I don't think I have that set up. It's been a problem now. It's been a couple times now that I've like, oh, nothing's happening. I get follow alerts though, I don't know. Kind of weird. I'll figure it out after. Aigozong, thank you for the love. No problem. Thank you for the raid. Enjoy. It's your birthday. You deserve it. Let's stare at Miss Mog here. God, you know what would make this better? If I gave them like a low taper fade. Oh yeah. Now the last thing they're gonna remember is that face. But look at it. It's the peak of attractiveness. Bites lip. Aha. Hey, girl. Aha. So thank you for the follow, Crisis Course. Aha. Pissing all by yourself, handsome. Yeah. Pissing all by yourself, handsome. Aha. That's that face. That's the face that, hey, me and my husband noticed you across the room and we wanted to ask if you were interested. Me and my husband noticed you across the room and we were wondering. Anyways, goodbye, mogging face. Hello, so that drawing was good. Thank you. They're mogging. They're doing the I can't do the F-boy voice. Hey, hey guys. Welcome to my drawing stream. Today we're gonna be drawing my my disc organs. Yeah. I can't do it. But yes, that's the face. If you have you guys seen the Hello, Cronus P. Welcome. That is xenomorph. It could be. I'm just kind of randomly drawing now. I'm just doodling. See, if you want to make like monsters kind of cute, all you gotta do is just give them the pink anime blush and be like, ew ew. The senpai noticed me. Hi, Cronus B. Welcome. I'm so sorry you have to see this. I'm just drawing monsters. And then you gotta give them the this after the mogging face. Is that an alien? It can be. I like to think of this as like, what's that monster that like burrows into you and lays eggs in people's bodies and then like they burst out of you after they incubate? That's what I imagine these to look like. This animal would be like, ooh, senpai noticed me, I must make him flowers. Yeah. Facehugger? Maybe. What's from that movie? Is that the movie Alien? They like lay eggs in your body and then they like burst out of your chest when they're ready to hatch. Like a parasite. It looks like they give good hugs. Yeah, they open up the rib cage like a big arm hug and they like eat your face. It's a xenomorph, but due to international copyright laws, it's not xenomorph. No, it's not xenomorph. It doesn't have the legs. It's got like a little... I don't know how this thing moves around, Maybe like a snake. They got like a long tail like a snake. They kind of wiggle. No, these things don't really actually I don't think they actually are able to travel. I think they're able to wiggle around on the ground like a snake for a short period of time. And then they launch themselves at people. And maybe they use their chest as a flared arm grip to be able to grab a person, including your, like, they wrap around your entire body, so they pin your arms to your chest. And then they use their mouth. Wait. They use their mouth. Ew. They use the mouth to like, you know, eat your face off. Kind of looks like a Digimon, really. I like the horns in your avatar. Thank you. Just for today, we have the demon cosplay. But yes, this is like cute xenomorph. I don't know. I'm not good at drawing like creepy things. You know, it's really hard to draw horror for me. Like, I think one of my favorite pictures actually of a horror painting. Well, there's two actually. One of them is Kronos eating his son. I think I love the emotions in that picture. And the number two is the welcome home. And it looks like this. It looks like a normal house. Like stereotypical barnyard door. Wait, not that. It looks like this. And then like, we're gonna pretend that this is the wall trimmings and then like whatever. Wallpaper. And then at the entrance, there's like a little... I can't draw dogs. Okay, I can draw dogs, but just like... Not at this angle. This angle is really hard to draw dogs, so I'm sorry. This dog gonna look scuffed. Whatever. The dog's like greeting this like entity by the door. Ignore my dog, it looks like a mouse. The dog looks like it's like... It's hard to tell by the dog's body language, but the door is like kind of creaking open. It's all dark on this side. You cannot see what's inside this. It's just darkness. And it's just a picture of the front door opening, and then the dog is just kind of like... Looks like it's kind of like bracing itself, but at the same time it looks like it's kind of like getting ready to like pounce at the intruder or to greet them. Either in welcoming, to be friendly, or in fear. You can't really tell. And I think that's really cool of like the painting, to kind of draw from this back angle where like a cosmic horror presence. Not really, just more of using your own imagination against you, which is what a lot of horror does. Horror tends to be a lot of suggestive stuff, so like there's a reason why in horror a lot of things end up being like dark backgrounds. Horror tends to be drawn in a dark space because it's easier to use your own fears against you. For example, if you draw a dark background and there's just something you can barely make out. Yeah, like my drawings today, I picked a dark background for a reason. It's easier to omit things. And then it relies on your own imagination to fill in the gaps It relies on your own imagination to fill in the gaps of what you find scary, because if I was to draw something in broad daylight and you were able to see things in full color, it kind of loses a little bit of its horror, which is what the fun of drawing horror is to just how you interpret somebody's drawings can be very different. So based off of what I said today and based off of like the little sketches that I was doodling, I think everybody can come up with a different image in their mind of what they look like based off of my really rough sketches and my omitted details. She's like a reverse psychologist and putting her fears in us. Yeah. I'm giving you guys my demons. It is the here you go hand emoji with the sparkles. Take my demons, and maybe you too shall see them when you close your eyes at night today. I don't know, another one of my demons. A lot of things tend to be like floating heads because that's all I see. I see things from like a first person perspective. It's like POV. You're like looking at somebody in the face. So one of them is like a floating head. They don't have a neck or anything. There's no body. It's just a floating head. And then they don't look exactly like it, but I want you to imagine like the floating screaming head from Repo. You know the floating whoa, holy moly. You know the floating screaming head from Repo? A little bit like that. Just like kind of like angry looking, like ah. But not as like, I guess, stretched and gaunt and like old looking as the demon from Repo. A little bit different looking, like the facial features are all different. Like imagine a really dehydrated skull with like flesh stretched tight across it. No muscle, just really stretched skin across a face or a skull. Barely looks like a person with really sunken eyes. And that's what I imagine, just a floating head staring at you in the void. My head's empty though. The demons around me are not enough. You could always use more. Congratulations, you're now a proud parent of a new demon. What will you name them? So, hello Adam. Nietzsche, welcome in. God, my captions are going wild. Anyways, I don't know. I think it's fun drawing horror concepts. Although, there's a lot of things out there that I feel like when you draw horror, there's like not a lot that hasn't already been done already. You know? Like, there's only so many times you can draw the human person before they start getting creepy. There's only so many times you can draw, like, just morphed animals and creatures that just starts getting like, well, I've seen this already. I think I've seen this before in a different thing, right? I think what's cool to me is when people draw horror creatures and they're something that I guess hasn't been done before. I want to see more of that, but I understand it's really hard to do because everything out there has already probably been explored. There's this one creator actually on Twitter. I forgot where they're from. I think they're from Puerto Rico or something like that. But they went viral last year for drawing the four horses. Like, you know how the three horsemen? There's death, plague, famine, and yeah, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Plague, famine, something, I forgot. But very, very cool. Super cool. I recommend let me look up their Twitter actually. I'm gonna see if I can find them. War, famine, plague, and Oh god, I don't know. Nope, that's not it. Right now they're drawing the 7 deadly sins. Let me see. Net me Google. Death, conquer war and famine. Ooh. Trying to find it. They had like really interesting concepts, but I think what was most cool to me about that artist is that the description of it and how they were writing them. King in yellow, I don't know what that is. Ah, this one. Let me Google. N-E-Z. Let me pull them up on my screen. Image. Browser. Wait, wrong one. Let's see here. Window capture. Okay. I'm just gonna scroll through this person's media tab. This is N-E-Z. If you want to look at their profile, it's N_E-E-Z-Z. This was their oops. Let me squish that more. Okay, the way my Twitter is set up, it's very squished. I don't know why, but it just kind of looks like that. We're just gonna live like this. But yeah, this was war. They had famine. They had pestilence, which is also like the plague. And then this was death. And I thought these were like really interesting concepts, especially when they first came out, because there was a lot of like speculation on the reasons why they picked and chose the details that they did. Famine is really unsettling to me. Death does not look deathly. I mean, death doesn't have to be scary. The idea behind death is that death doesn't need to rush. Death doesn't have a destination. Death will catch up to you eventually. You cannot run from it. It's just gonna be there. And that's the idea behind it. That, you know, it takes its time, but it'll get there eventually. Famine is really unsettling to me. Yeah. So, let me find their Tumblr page. What I believe that they wrote about. Where is it? Oh, there it is. How do I close out of this thing? Oh well, whatever. I remember getting chills when I saw War when the series had just come out. Yeah! Also, hello, Kovesh. Alright. So this is their commentary on their own works. Also, ignore the giant Tumblr thing at the bottom. I don't have an account on Tumblr. So this is what the artist picked. It doesn't have to be what you personally believe when you see them. So if you look at them and just based off of how they drew. So they wrote here, for War. I cannot bring myself to represent war with a cold night. Its horror. War is a bound child crowned with shrapnel, tied to a wounded horse that is being pulled forward by unseen people. I've read a handful of books regarding war. A lost quote said that it should be shown as a horror, should make generals vomit, it should make you sick. I haven't seen War, but my family has. It was the first horseman I had designed, and it was in my sketchbook for months, before I had the courage to draw it. And, yeah, it's pretty cool. Thank you for the follow, Cronus P. Hello. We're just looking at art now. This is famine. Someone who lived through a famine shared that their head was only occupied with thoughts of food. Famine consumes your mind. All animals were eaten. Neighbors gave their pets away because they couldn't do it themselves. People walked around town as if in a daydream slowly. This is the quote that they shared. A cat, a cat. Other children saw it and started chasing it. The educators were local habitants, looked at us as if we were insane. In Leningrad, there were no living cats left. A living cat was a dream. Food for 1 month. We talked about it, but they didn't believe us. During the first year of evacuation, we didn't notice nature. Everything was nature provided was only one desire. Taste to see if it's edible. Only a year later, I noticed the beauty of the rails. I dreamt of catching a sparrow and eating it. So, like... Oh my god. Hello, Shining Silence. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hello, Raiders. Hello! Ooh! Warning for, I guess gore? Blood? Wow, double raid. Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Thank you so much for the follow. Hello, Raiders. Hi. Hi, Shining Silent. Thank you for the follow. And it's Mousa. Thank you for the follow. Hello, guys. What were you up to? 1 second. Oh, let me shout you out. What were you guys up to? Let me see. You were doing art! What were you guys drawing? What were you guys drawing? Were you drawing something cool? Earlier we were drawing some horror concepts, and that was kind of fun. I was drawing the demons in my head. And now we're talking about horror art. So this one, this artist was drawing the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse last year, and I was telling my chat about this artist and their ideas and the methodology and why they chose to draw what they did. Anyways, if you need to go read and run, no worries. Go to the bathroom, drink water, get a snack, maybe get a break. I know, stretch your wrists, especially if you're an artist. Raiders, also for you too, go to the bathroom, take care of yourselves. Anyways, how are you guys doing? How was it? Was it fun? How long were you drawing for? I'm free to drink bleach. You know what? That's fair. Anyways, my name is Kyokamiya. I am currently drawing monsters. Well, I was drawing monsters. Now I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doodling. Ow. Thank you. Thank you for the water break. If you like, I don't know. If you like hearing me yap about monster concepts, then welcome. But if you need to go to bed and take a rest and whatever, feel free to do so. But thank you so much for the raid. This is what I'm doing today. I'm just yapping. That's what I'm doing. I'm just reading. I have to go back to work. Oh no. Good luck. Have fun. Good luck. Anyways, this is pestilence. Based on the notes of a doctor who said the most frightening thing about viral disease was how it didn't frighten. People didn't know or didn't care. They lived and spread until it was too late and they became another name on the record. It's interesting. You're on a horse plagued by virus and you can't see where you're going. This is death. Death is the fairest thing in the world. No one's ever gotten out of it. The earth takes everyone, the cruel, the sinners, the kind. Aside from that, there is no fairness on earth. And yeah, that's the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Right now, this artist is doing a series on the what's it called? The 7 Deadly Sins. So they are actually really, really cool contests, by the way. This is greed. Greed has many hands. This is sloth. Wait, that's the wrong one. This is their other art. I love horror artists. They're so cool. Wrath. Pride. Though they draw death is very interesting. They do. Gluttony. Gosh, I wish I could draw this good. This is lust. I think the way this artist draws concepts and stuff is very interesting and unique. Not like the way that you draw the 7 Deadly Sins in a way that's a horror themed, because usually I see like the 7 Deadly Sins drawn as the typical, like, you know, lust is a really pretty lady or like a really handsome guy. But the way to draw like lust as in this type of concept is interesting to me. Or like sloth. You know, typically when people see gluttony is usually described as somebody who like eats a lot, but this one is described in like a horror context, as in like somebody with like a huge expanding stomach that's just a stomach that's always like empty and never full. I think it's really, really cool. But yeah, it's really cool to me as somebody who does that. I don't know. Horror art is so fun. Horror art is cool. I think it's like very creative. Like, sure, you could draw other things in the world, and sure, you could do it, like, you know, whatever. But why would you do that when you can draw cute monsters, you know? Anyways, we're gonna go back to drawing. We're just gonna doodle random stuff. Whenever I think of gluttony, I think of the one meme of the guy giving his cat a cheeseburger. Tree Man? No. Does anyone remember this, like, cartoon? Of, like, a thing? I think it's like an old cartoon called Gumby. And Gumby was green. Okay, this is mildly horrifying because they just drew it on a dark background, but I swear, Gumby's kind of cute. Gumby's kind of interesting looking. It's just, apparently whatever you draw on a dark background just ends up looking really creepy with the color red. Me drawing art of, like, horror. Oh god, I'm so scared. No, it's not scary. Gosh dang, Kai, I'll tell you what. Yeah. Very cute. You guys like spiders? They're cool? Yeah, I like spiders. Unless they're on my bed, yeah, I guess so. Guess it was kind of hard to see. Spiders. I like the tiny little jumping spiders, the ones with like the little hands by the mouth, and they're like, oh, the little jumping spiders are so cute. They look like little rectangles. You got the little feet. I like concept art that like takes existing concepts and they do something a little bit different with it. Like, they move you down. Wait. I love kidnapping jumping spiders from wherever I find them and bringing them into my garden. Nice. Like, I like when they take concepts of things that already exist and they like kind of bring it to life. Is not the crab. The real body. Oops. I just died. Hello? Are we back? Yeah, my internet. The crab got me. Yeah, you're back. Your crab got me. But yes, the body of this one is actually the skeleton. And the crab is just a pseudo bait. Just a little prop to lure in passing sea creatures at the bottom of the ocean to kind of be like, hey, I'm your friend. And then it grabs them and pulls them in, and kind of like an angler fish. Yeah. This is actually like a tongue, essentially, and it uses the tongue to kind of grab. Think of like a barbed tongue on a sea anemone. Hello, training soy, welcome. How are you? It uses its tongue to grab sea creatures that pass by it that are curious enough to look at this crab. And it uses the claws of the crab to grab around its prey, drag it into the mouth, and eat them whole, alive. I think it's pretty cool. These are not its actual eyes. Its eyes are up here. That'd be a cool idea, right? Don't you think that's cool? You're like, oh, cool, crab, sea crab. And then you look up and you're like, oh. Crab dance, yeah. I love seeing, like, you know when hermit crabs trade off their shells? I like that. The little lineup thing they do. It's very cute. Hermit crabs are such interesting creatures. Anyways, that's my concept for a... what's this called? Mimicry? Like a mimicry type of like monster? Almost like a mimic, maybe. Like a mimic. What else? By the way, I'm just coming up with these off the top of my head, just doodling. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of just draining around, drawing random stuff. You know what my favorite type of thing is? Like in my favorite thing to see in, I guess, horror media that I don't really see too often is like the concept of like multiple eyeballs in one. Like, I think it's such a cool thing to do, but like not a lot of things do it. It's such a cool like thing to do with eyeballs, but it's so hard to draw. I get it's like annoying. Also, it's really hard to do in movies and stuff because it requires the use of specialized props or CGI, and that's expensive. But in art, I don't really see it utilized at all, like that much. Do you think it's scarier to have something with eyes, or do you think it's scary to have something without eyes? Something I find a little bit sad about horror is a lot of it tends to be really the monster looks scary, but it's actually quite depressing. Without eyes, really. You'll find that a lot of horror is very just, it's not scary, it's just sad. Like, because the reason why things become monsters in the first place is because something happened that created a monster. And I think the idea of that monsters aren't born, they're created is kind of interesting in horror. I like those videos of divers finding hermit crabs literally using garbage as a shell and giving real shells. Yeah! They're like, why are you using a plastic bottle as a shell? Here you go. Actual shell. Very cute. It's also kind of interesting, the concept that hermit crabs aren't really born with a shell, they're just kind of there. And it doesn't grow with them, unlike Unlike whelks, whose shell gradually gets bigger as they grow because they build them from the inside out. Hermit crabs don't have that. Some weird evolution thing that happened. Also, you know what's really cool? I recently realized. I recently learned. Oops, that's my water bottle. That's my glass of water. It's really cool about like not hermit crabs. Mollusks in general. Mollusks have thousands of eyes. Turtle shells are connected to their spine. Yes, they are. And they're kind of cute. Look at this. Like, can you imagine a clam with like a million eyes just all around their shell? They aren't actually really eyes. They're kind of like simple eyes. And if you look at a picture, they're kind of cool looking. They only detect light and objects moving towards them to eat them. But they look like that. It's like the ridges on a shell. Such a cool looking thing. They're so cute. Without eyes, because in the monster only depends on hearing and smelling. Imagine if the monster cornered you. Ooh. Like the Little Nightmares janitor. Or the butcher. The butcher in Little Nightmares. He can't see, but he's got really strong smelling and hearing. I guess so. I guess it's kind of scarier if the monster can only see versus only hear. But you know what's really interesting? If you had to choose between losing your vision permanently versus losing your hearing permanently, I think a lot of people would choose to lose their hearing rather than their vision because of how important sight is. So the fact that you would prefer a monster to not be able to see and only be able to hear and smell makes it scarier, right? If a monster had the same moveset with eyes, would that make it less scary? I don't know. I don't know if a monster that couldn't see would have the same moveset as a monster that could see. Because I would imagine that a monster that couldn't see would have these like big sweeping gestures with their hands to be able to feel around and like see where it's going. Or maybe a monster that's blind that uses echolocation, like a deep sea underwater creature that came out of the ground underwater, like that came out of the deep, right? That'd be actually kind of cool for like a monster that can't see because it lived in the dark for so long and it doesn't need eyes, and it uses echolocation or a lot of feelers. Like, can you imagine like one of those big squids with like a lot of really long tentacles almost, right? And you walk into a room and all of these are just kind of floating. Kind of like a spider web in a nest. And it just got all of these little probes just dangling. Just covered in a room of these long threads slash like thin tentacles that are able to detect movement based off of like if you touch the little trigger hair. Think about a monster without a nose. Can see, can hear, but can't smell. I don't know. Fish has small nose? Yeah. If you had to choose between like not being able to see versus not being able to hear, what would you pick? I'm thinking about the video game Still Wakes the Deep. I know a lot of horror tends to depict underwater creatures as like octopus. I don't know why, like with tentacles and stuff. But I think like a cool type of horror would be something like Soma, where the underwater monster wasn't really the actual underwater part. It was the wow, the goop that was fusing with people and part of the ocean, part of the ocean bed, and how everybody was kind of being taken over by coral and this like alien kind of looking coral. And by the way, did you know that coral are technically animals? They look inanimate, but they are animals. They have names? Nares? I don't know what that means. Here, imagine you live in total darkness. That's just called being blind. Bro, close your eyes. What do you see? Nothing. That's my world without you, bro. Bro. Name for fish nose is a nair according to Google. Really? Cool. My favorite image of fish, off topic, I'm sorry. My favorite image of fish is just fish that are front facing and they just kind of look like this. I love when you look at a front picture of a fish and they just look like that. You're like, oh. Front facing fish. That's my favorite angle of fish, just that. Blobfish is goated. Ooh, blobfish. I feel so bad for the blobfish that they were like, oh yeah, well I'll pull you out of the ocean under the deep water space that you live in, and we'll pull you to the surface where your bones can no longer support the weight of your own body, and then we're gonna name you after that. We're gonna name you after what you look like after we pulled you out of like. Can you imagine if they did that to humans? Like if I imagine aliens existed and they pulled humans into space, and then the human like you know the human body literally explodes in space, right? Like humans freeze first because there's no oxygen. How cold it is up there because there's no oxygen. Can you imagine if like they were like, look at this creature we found on this planet. We're gonna call them statues. They don't move. They just kind of freeze in place and freeze over. Because all the oxygen in the body leaves and like dies. Gets sucked out in the vacuum of space, and they're like, look at these things. They just look like statues. Look at the funny little statue creatures. And then that's the name that they call them. It's always like, oh, poor blobfish. If I were the blobfish, I wouldn't be mad I got a funny name. I'm about to be a pillar man, yeah. I love front-facing fish. Fish. Especially when they're like really long and narrow fish like this. Unless you're like, I don't know, that one oat fish, I think they're called. They look like this. They got eyes on one side of the face. They're like sun discs. We will call them popsicle. Yeah. I like how every single time I do a drawing stream, I just don't draw. I just do doodles. Look at this person, they're just frozen. What's wrong with them? Fishes with eyes on one side? Yeah. It's like, I think they're called an oat fish, or not the sunfish, the oat fish, I think. Anyways, guys, if you want to know how to draw a rose, it's just this, 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 this. Like that. Rose has got a lot of layers. Anyways, off topic. I don't know. Can't think of any other ideas for monsters. Do you ever remember, I don't know if you guys did this, but when I was in school, we had this concept where they would give us an object. For example, this was what they called the gifted test, by the way. They would give you a shape and they would say, draw something with it, and they would test how creative you were based off of what you did with them. So they'd be like, here is shape. Do not draw like, or they wouldn't tell you not to draw something, but they would say like, here object. Draw a picture with it. You can draw whatever you want, and you have a time limit of like 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever. And you had to take this object and transform it into something else. And I remember doing that because they were testing people to get into gifted. I remember I thought, I didn't even know what I was there for because they never told me. They were just like, here you go, paper test. And I was just like, this is a fun assignment. I'm pretty sure since our planet is close enough to the sun, we'd boil if we were in space without a spacesuit. And even if we did freeze, our blood would boil anyway, due to low pressure. I think, in fact, check me, my sources trust me, bro. I don't know, either people freeze or they like boil. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to think. Maybe if you were closer to the sun, you would. But if you think about it, in areas where the ozone layer was super thin or the ozone layer just didn't exist, it's not like the ozone layer protects us from the space. The ozone layer just kind of exists as like atmospheric pressure. It's not like we have a barrier surrounding us and like, okay, people tend to assume that the sky or like whatever is like some kind of force field that surrounds the earth. No, it's just space up there. There is nothing out there except for just atmospheric pressure. Kind of like the ozone protects us from the sun's radiation. True, but there are places where the ozone layer is really thin, and I'm not really sure how those people who live there are doing, but I know it's pretty warm down there. But if you if you were out there, out in space, just kind of free floating, you know? Oops, sorry, I just hit the mic with my pen. I don't know. I guess if you were to be like, how far is space? Okay, one. If you were to take a rocket ship to the space, at what point far away from Earth do you consider yourself in space? Because you could be like, what, planes usually fly at 40,000 miles above the ground? How high do you have to be considered to be in space? You'll freeze because the planet stores the heat while the space will freeze? I have no idea. We're just getting into debates of science and astrology. Hello, Anno Swildegold. Great art bird, yes. We were drawing monsters. You need to be fairly far away. I would assume so, yeah. I really wonder, what's scary? I don't know, what everybody finds scary is different. It's kind of hard to draw like horror. Because like for me, what I find scary is really not what other people find scary. Because to me, what's scary, or like what I technically fear the most, is like losing all of the people that I care about. And that is something that's really hard to portray in art. I don't fear clowns. I don't fear interesting. You're sitting there with your fingertips pressed together, sitting there with your elbows on the desk like a supervillain, tapping your fingers. Oh, interesting. That's my fear, but I cannot portray that as a horror. Like a... Oh my god, stop censoring the word horror as horror. This caption program thinks that I'm swearing, but I'm not. Yes, you would freeze, but not instantly. You would freeze very slowly, and only if you're dumb enough not to be in a spaceship or a spacesuit. We're talking about the concept of an alien took you into space, like a blobfish. If you took the human out of the environment that the human normally lives in, what would aliens name us based off of how we died in space? Popsicle. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, my horror concept. I don't know. I don't really fear like normal things that like other people usually fear. Like obviously I get scared of jump scares. I don't like the anticipation of jump scares. That's what gets me. It's the anxiety of horror and jump scares in video games that I don't like playing them. But other than that, no, like reading horror, looking at pictures of horror is not very scary to me. I think it looks kind of cute or interesting in a way. I'll be like, oh, that's a concept I've never seen before. That's done interesting. Or like, that art style's nice. That's cool. I think when I was younger, I used to have a fear of the dark. Like, obviously, if you were to put me in the basement in the dark, I'd be a little scared. Like, you know, when you hear noises that you're unexpected, like something scratching against the wall, or you're in the basement and you're like, oh, it's all dark, I don't want to be in the dark. That's kind of scary. But it's more of the fear of the unknown. But as some people are deathly afraid of things. You know the pop-up book of horror? That's kind of fun. That's such a cool book. Why do you have demon horns today? Because we were talking about drawing my demons earlier, so I have demon horns to be blending in with the folk. I think everyone would be scared if they woke up in a dark basement. Maybe somebody would be excited. I'm scared of human interaction. Boo! You're talking to people. Right now. Oh my god. Or do you mean IRL? Do you mean in person? Do you mean like making eye contact with people? Try to think. No, this is all AI. You guys definitely don't exist. Sure. This entire stream is just me drawing and feeling like I'm like doodling as a child. I definitely. Bro, just all the counts of Kyo. Yeah, I'm typing really fast. You just can't hear it. Do you want to know something really eerie? Look up like the parasite that takes over snails' bodies and climbs to really tall trees and pulsates. Look up a video of that if you want to see something really cool. There's a type of parasite that burrows into snails' bodies, eats their brains, and then there's two of them, and then they pulsate out of the snail's eyeballs, and they're like rainbow colored, and they're really cool and pretty looking, but they rewire the snail's brain to climb to really tall trees to signal to birds to eat them. And then when the birds eat them, they reproduce in the bird's intestine system, and then when they, poop them out, they can reproduce. They reproduce inside the bodies of the birds. And then when the bird poops, that's the eggs, and then the eggs continue to rebreed and go inside snails. They incubate. Nature isn't horrifying at all, nope. Nature is so fun. I want to see that, but as people, like in a human. Not like the Last of Us cordyceps kind of fungus kind of thing, but like not like a zombie either, because you know when a zombie they just go like they lose their mind. But I want to see a evolved type of parasite. Like I'm hungry to eat some snails, yeah. I don't know, it's kind of hard to portray in like kind of hard to draw. Have you ever heard of the tongue replacing parasite? It goes in the gills of fish, eats their tongue from the inside, and replaces it with its own body. Yeah! I drew something like that earlier with the crab. Oops. I was watching a video on how to draw horror. And they said that horror is scarier if it has a story. Because if you just look at a picture, you're like, well, it's not that scary, right? It's just like a thing, right? You're like, oh, it's just a creature. Like, what is this, right? But knowing the story behind things and why things are the way they are, kind of interesting, right? This guy's going, wah. This guy looking zesty for real, hell yeah. like a really cool trip. Like something from the 90s, maybe. When the 90s was very colorful. I'm trying to think of like you're in need of a therapist and schizophrenia medication. No, I think this is a cool idea. I'm just trying to think of like a story for this guy. Like imagine it's like you're traveling in the Amazon rainforest and you come across this parasite, right? And unknowingly it seeps into your body. Kind of like those brain-eating amoebas, right? You get a wound, maybe through water, wading through water, a puddle, and it guts through into your body. And it makes its way into your brain, but you don't notice it right away. Maybe it works like the ring from The Lord of the Rings. It replaces your thoughts with your own thoughts. It says things in your own voice, but things that you would never have thought of otherwise, but it says it in your voice. So you think it's real. Would you be able to tell if your thoughts aren't your own, if they're in your own voice? If you think to yourself in your own head, can you tell that that's what you're thinking? I think it's really interesting to kind of like think about that kind of concept as an allegory for like mental illnesses, because people with bipolar, people who are schizophrenic, right? I feel like that's kind of what living with a mental illness is like, where you're like, well, I don't want to be thinking these things, but they're just intrusive thoughts. That's the definition of intrusive thoughts. I think it's kind of cool to introduce that as a horror concept and to be all like, well, this voice is speaking in my head telling me to do this. Do I act on it? Do I do it? It's telling me, it says it in my own voice. Am I thinking that? Am I a bad person? Right? It's kind of cool. There's a video of an artist that edited everything they see and hear as a schizophrenic. There is a game, like there's a Minecraft mod out there where it's like schizophrenia simulator, or it makes you see things on your screen that aren't actually there, or it like really, really delays the game, so that everything you do in the game echoes back like 5 minutes in the future, and you're like, maybe you put a block down, you walk away, it come back, the block's gone, and then it comes back, and then the block's there again, and you're like, what happened? Did I put this down? Where'd it go? Right? There is a Minecraft mod that does that to you. The story my family used to tell me, the story of the bag man when I was a kid, and the bag man is a man with a bag on his head and he kidnapped kids. Yeah. Oh no, I accidentally ate every parasite ever to exist. Now they're all fighting to death in my brain. The strongest one that wins will be the king of them all. Like a rat king, but for parasites. That'd be fun. Can you imagine that? I eat all the parasites in my body and whoever wins gets my body. Haha. Me inviting all the demons in my head to an Alcohol Anonymous meeting, but it's like strongest demon there gets to, I don't know. Oh no, they get to eat my soul or whatever. That sounds like the concept of a cheesy horror movie. That sounds like a Mr. Beast video. That's funny. $10,000 to the person. Wait, $1 million to the person who eats 50 different types of parasites, and whoever wins. Whoever wins gets the prize. The strongest parasite wins. I don't know. Would you? I like colors. I like Why is horror always in black and red and barely visible? I want colors in my horror. I want, like... Do you think something hits the same if it's, like, green? Or pink? So I guess that's the reason why people don't really find Five Nights at Freddy's that scary if you look at the animatronics on their own. Knowing the concept behind the animatronics is kind of scary, but like looking at them by themselves, you're just kind of like, oh, cute. Did you see that there's a live action movie coming out soon of the FNAF movie? I heard that they changed the entire plot of it though. It's like not actually the game. I don't know what they did. That sounds fun. I need to draw, or what's it called? I need to practice drawing more. I don't know. I would like to be better at putting the ideas in my head to paper and draw better horror monsters. That's what I want to use my drawing skills for. I want to draw the demons I see in my head in better quality than just the doodles I did today. Today, I've decided to eat all the parasites. Whatever one wins gets to control my body and get $1 million. Hell yeah. Have you seen the movie The Substance? Has anyone seen the movie The Substance? It's supposed to be like a body horror type movie, but honestly, it's so like wild and ridiculous. It's kind of... it ends up being dumb. I accidentally ended stream. Or my stream crashed a while ago. Now I'm getting an email. Stream. The Goo movie? I think so. It's the one where this lady wants to be young again, so she like... No, everybody eats the goo, no. She like... This lady wants to be younger, so she... I don't even know how this works. She takes a substance that creates a duplicate version of herself, but her younger version of herself is almost like as her own person, but it's like a persona of her. It's like herself, but younger. But also not really her. I don't know, it's weird. I'm thinking of this stuff, I think. Maybe. Gotta think about like... it came out last year. I don't know, what is scary? I'm going to bed. Good night. Good night. Maybe robots? Maybe the concept of a gas mask. The concept of a gas mask. The frog. know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to draw. It is a frog. That was a frog. Yeah. What I just drew was a frog. The one before that was like a gas mask. I'm trying to use the color pink to make something scary, but I can't. It's really hard to draw something that's like scary looking. That's in this color. I don't know. There's just something about it. I mean, I guess same thing with other colors too. Like, it's just hard to make these colors look scary when they're so bright and cheerful. It's just funny because in the animal kingdom, bright colors usually mean danger. A giant worm, maybe, like the Alaskan bullworm. They always show these in movies and they make them look scarier than they actually are, but I don't know. They're not that bad. Fun drawing exercise, guys. How long can I make this worm? Dune sandworms are peak, yeah. Looks good. Yeah, worm. I don't know, it doesn't look as scary because it's blue, but it does make it look like it's poisonous, so that's cool. Can you imagine? Maybe like a poisonous worm. There's just some things out there that you can't make scary. There's just some things out there that you can't make scary. Thank you for the follow, Teasem. This is genuinely good drawing. It doesn't look scary, more cool than scary. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some things out there that just... They're just cool looking. They're not scary. It's hard to make something scary looking. Like, maybe if this was following you in the desert and it's like really huge and ginormous and about to eat you, maybe that'd be scary. But like, the concept of this thing looking at you and just being super long and big, like, it's... I don't know. It's not that scary. You're just kind of like, oh, that's cool. It's got the foreshortening and perspective going on. I don't know. I'm genuinely trying to draw like something kind of scary looking, but it's not working out. Nothing I draw is scary. Everything just kind of looks cool. Okay, bye-bye, worm. Bye-bye concept of a worm. Try a spider-human hybrid? Okay, if a human were to be a spider, would it be like a centaur? Where it's like, I'll draw a stick figure. Would it be like, you know, like spider with like lady arms? Okay, I don't know why I defaulted her to being a lady. I think spider monsters can be male. Okay. Would it be like this with like let's say, the body of a spider with, like a centaur with spider legs, or do we think that we would have like the opposite, like a mermaid kind of, like a, I was thinking it was scary, just a human head with a spider body. Oh, okay. I was thinking more of like this. Like a human centipede type style with like 6. Okay, I can't draw. I don't have enough space, but like, yeah, this is really hard to draw because I don't have enough space. But imagine like human centipede type style, like that's a foot. That's another foot. That's like a hand. That's like maybe another hand. Maybe that's another foot. It's another, like, whatever. Like that kind of thing, like a human centipede, but with like a lot of arms, legs. Like that. I don't know why I drew it at this angle. It's like a top-down angle. Now that would give me nightmares. I can see that, yeah. Especially if they're a realistic human being. Like, instead of the whole, like, human centipede type thing, can you imagine, like, just a person with a lot of limbs? It's like crawling on the hands and knees. Not hands and knees, but like bear crawling, maybe. Spider half human is cool, not scary. Human head with a spider body now is scary. Okay, you have human with 8 legs, right? Legs and arms. Maybe they're all arms. I don't know. Maybe 4 arms and 4 legs. That'd be cool. Like, human with 4 legs, or you have the concept of like, I don't know. You've got like the harpy situation back again, where it's just like maybe spider body. But like, like a cut, gee. Maybe like the body of a human, like the head of a human. I mean, it's not that bad. I think this would be kind of cute. This just brings you back to like maybe like a centaur, but just the head. Like, if you've ever seen the game, the My Horse Prince, where the guy's like, genuinely he's a horse. Imagine this little spider guy jumps up your shoulder and says, "Ooh, who may have a chip?" Yeah. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. Like, I was thinking of like a giant spider. I think that's kind of scary to have like a. I think it'd more scary if it was tiny. Like, can you imagine a tiny little spider with the face of a human? And you're looking at it and you're like, that looks like a face. What is that? Also, by the way, if you like the concept of human faces on animals, check out the manga called Jinmen. It's spelled. Okay, I cannot write with this pen. Jinmen. I don't know if you can read my handwriting. Jinmen. Look it up. That is actually a thing. So in the manga, there is a virus that takes over animals and turns animals into humanoid kind of creatures, but only the faces of the animals change into one of humans. There is a type of animal in the manga that they show. It's just a huge. Imagine like a million or like 100 rats, all of them with the face of a human. That's what Jinmen is. Yeah, look it up. Look it up. It's like nightmare material, but it's very cool. I love my horse prints. I can't draw horses. I drew a horse like a long time ago and I just forgot how to draw horses. I can only draw horses that look like cardboard cutouts. They're like this. Oh no, I can only draw stylized horses from My Little Pony. Oh. Wait, I'm so hungry I can eat a horse. How hungry. Weirdly, cows are easy to draw for me, while horses are hard to draw. Okay, this horse is kind of long. This horse is kind of long. The torso's too long. You know what would be a really interesting horror concept? Like, I think the concept of Midwest fantasy, like, not really fantasy, but like Midwest horror is kind of interesting to me because it's like being in the middle of the woods and hearing animal noises that aren't supposed to be out there. Or like seeing animals that look like animals, but they're like not animal enough. Right? That's like the concept of Midwestern horror. It's interesting. That's good enough? Yeah. But like Midwestern horror with the concept of maybe you're looking at a goat with the eyes of a human and you blink and it looks like a normal goat again and you're like, wait a minute, what's wrong? What the heck? That's odd. Or you hear like the sound of a scream at nighttime, but you're like, oh, that's just coyotes. That's what coyotes sound like at night, but you're not sure, and you don't want to go outside to check. Or you're looking into the eyes of an owl, and the reflection that you see back at yourself is not you, and it looks like somebody else, and you're just kind of like, oh, that's odd. And you brush it off. That's the concept of Midwestern horror, just the fact that things are out there, but they're not really as they seem. And you just don't know for sure. It's just a feeling, like the feeling of unease and like being unsettled. I think that's like a cool concept. Owls are cool? Yeah, I like owls. And there's different types of owls though. There's like the barn owls, like which have a really cool face. They're like this. They're very round. Owls are a lot of feathers. They're just mostly feathers. So barn owls have a specific like dish-shaped bowl on their face made of feathers. And it's very smooth and round. And they use this to use their face like a satellite. And they look around to channel sounds towards themselves. Very cool. Every single time I see an owl video, I think they're cool and cute. Owl babies are really cute. They are! I like seeing images or like videos of baby barn owls because they're all leg. Like they look like this. They do this thing where they get scared. They like raise their shoulder and they try to look intimidating, but it really doesn't look intimidating at all. They're just kind of like this. And they're all leg. Like that. I don't know, I can't draw. But they do this thing where they puff up with their wings and they stand there with their legs, and their legs are really long and they just kind of like that. I think they're so cute. They're so funny looking when they walk. They don't have enough fluff, but they are all leg. They look so goofy every time they do that. Yeah, they do. I love owls. I like all birds. I like all animals. Little puffballs. Oh, owls. I was thinking back to oh my god, I was on a train of thought and I forgot what I was talking about. I forgot what I was talking about again. I don't know. I don't know, I forgot. I've lost the train of thought, it's gone. Anyways, it is what, 2:42 a.m.? I should go to bed. I need to go to bed. Anyways, this was very fun. Thank you for stopping by. I drew some horror. I was actually going to work on this drawing that I was gonna work on drawings. I was gonna draw, actually draw, but I didn't. I just ended up doodling. But that's fun. That's fine. It was fun. It is fun. It's always nice to have a creative outlet and just to be like doodled. What's it called? Oh, I was gonna write something. I was gonna write something, but I forgot what I was gonna write. Oh well, that's fine. Oh, never mind. If you like animals and you like how animals come to be, look up the anime called Heaven's Design Team. It's an anime, but there's also a manga. But if you like animals and you like want to know kind of like the theoretical of why scientists think an animal came to be and how it evolved to be that way, there is an entire manga / anime that is dedicated to animals and why they look like that and why they do that. Very cool. Such a cool anime / manga. My favorite. It's been a long time since I actually stayed till the end of a stream. I know. Usually you go to bed. But that's because it's Fridays, and Fridays I stay up later. But yes. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for staying with me for that long. Because I'm gonna go to bed. I will see you all, I believe on Friday is when I have it scheduled, right? I think so. Yeah. I will see you all on Friday. We'll try playing Monster Hunter actually. Been a while since I picked up that game. I think I'm still in story mode, unfortunately. We might struggle. See you next stream if I can make it. Yeah, no worries if you can't. The VOD's always there. But see you all next time. Thank you all for stopping by, and thank you so much for the Ray Shining Silence and Acela Vives. I hope everyone can make it. Yeah, Monster Hunter. That'd be fun. I probably need help. I'm really bad at Monster Hunter, but it'd be fun. Anyways, good night, everybody. I will see you then. I was gonna say ta-ta, but no. That's kind of weird. Bye-bye. Good night. I don't know why my first instinct was to just say that, but... that was funny. Good night, sweet dreams. Good night, everybody. See you all next stream. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I swear to God, every single person that streams, everybody raids into me, and then nobody that I know is streaming. This happens every single time. I need more friends who stream after me. Everybody streams before me. Wow. I don't know. Anyways, so I'll just say bye. Bye-bye. 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 Good night, everybody. I will see you all next time. Oh, I don't know why I did that. You know what is the stupid idea I had for an ASMR stream was like, I'd just be like, ASMR Goofy. So, I'm going to be showing you all a really cool trick. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.